All right, we're ready to begin.
Very good. Hey, look, I'm on there twice. Is that distracting or is that okay?
Oh, yeah, actually, you're not supposed to connect to your.
Okay, if I'm here in person, I shouldn't connect. Okay.
It's okay if as long as it's the audio.
Yeah, I muted the audio.
There you go.
So that's all right. Yeah, join without audio. All right, well, it's 6 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the Lacey Historical Commission. It is August 17th, 2022. The time is 6 p.m. And I believe we have a quorum. Thought we had a quorum. Did somebody drop off?
Is Commissioner Getz still here? It looks like
Yes, I'm chewing.
There, she's there. I see her.
I'm here.
So we have 4, so that's a quorum.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna take a look at the agenda here. Bear with me. There it is. All right. Okay. Let's begin with additions or deletions to the agenda. Does anyone have any additions or deletions to the agenda? Very good. Hearing none, we'll need a motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The agenda is adopted. We'll move on to item number 3, minutes. Are there any corrections to the July 2022 minutes? Okay, hearing none, we will need another motion to adopt or approve.
So moved.
Second.
Having been moved and seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes of July 2022 have been approved. Moving on to item number 4, announcements.
So I do have one announcement. Great news that Chair Ebel and Mayor Ryder and I conducted interviews for historical commissioners this past Friday. And we interviewed 3 candidates, and the mayor is prepared to make a recommendation to the full council for all 3 candidates, which is great news since we actually have, we have 3 vacancies, but the 4th, Commissioner Tyler is actually eligible to serve another term. And the mayor had me ask him if he's interested, and he said yes.
Great.
And so that's the 4th. So he'll just be serving a 3rd full term since there weren't applicants. There weren't enough applicants for the vacancies that we have. That makes him eligible for another term. So I'll let you know when that recommendation is going to be on the council agenda. And I'll also let you know when we get to have the council recognize the outgoing commissioners. I don't have dates for you yet, but I am working on it. So.
Can I make a comment about the candidates?
Sure.
They, one of the things that I appreciated about getting to meet all 3 of them was that they each bring a unique skill set to the commission that I think is going to be beneficial in different ways. So I think it's going to be a great new era for the Historical Commission with these folks on board, and I think you'll enjoy working. Any other announcements?
That was it.
Okay. Moving on to item 5, correspondence. Do we have any?
I don't believe so. Is there any in the packet? Do you have the packet open? Oh, okay. Erin, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. We can't see you.
Any correspondence?
Did you see any correspondence? In the packet? Okay, thank you. I just need confirmation. Thanks. I didn't quite have it open yet.
All right, great. We'll move on to item number 6, calendar of events.
I would like to let everyone know that August 25th at 8 p.m. we have partnered with Pretty Gritty Tours, who are doing a virtual tour of the Roto Pioneer Cemetery. and that will be live streamed on YouTube. There's information that should have come to your email boxes if you're subscribed to our newsletter this evening, as well as it being on our website. So I would encourage everybody to attend, and then it will be available recorded later if you can't make it.
That's great. Yeah, Pretty Gritty Tours does some good stuff up in the Tacoma area. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have put together for us here.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, let's move on. Any other items under calendar? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 7, old business, beginning with item 7A, the new museum project.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're still working on the funding plan strategy. That is our #1 focus at this time. And so not super great news to share tonight, but we did get a little bit of affirmation or confirmation, I should use that word rather, on one of the grant opportunities that we have been keeping our eye on. So let me pull up the screen and share with you here. So as you know, we've been putting together a funding strategy. We have the city opportunities that the city can apply for or seek out rather, well, apply for and seek out, whether that's through our state or federal representatives or grants that we can apply for. And then we have the newly formed Lacey Community Foundation over on the right side. And so we've been, working through this list, and one of the things that we've determined is that we're going to go ahead and take this one off. This is the Defense Communities Infrastructure Program, and that's a federal program that could have been a possibility with our local military partners, but in looking at their priorities, the things that they're looking at are more the physical wellness, more childcare type projects, and more of a, potentially childcare and more traditional recreation type opportunities for families. And so, yeah, it's just not something that matches up, and that's what we weren't sure of. We liked it because because we do have a strong military partnership. We do have a lot of military families that live and play and have cultural activities in Lacey. And it is a large, the limit is up to $20 million. And so it's that really large amount that we're looking for being able to apply for. So we will unfortunately need to cross it off the list. But we have been spending a lot of time figuring out, what other opportunities might be out there, and kind of moving around our strategy a little bit. So we still do have the others on the list, and I know that the Lacey Community Foundation is still at work, trying to get their foundation set and being able to be in a good position to support the project. So, any questions about that?
Is there no way that we could creatively write that grant and make the case for museums that improve mental health, and the community civic space is kind of childcare? Any way we could?
It hasn't been passing like the early tests on trying to get that written up. Although it will be important to many military families in the Lacey community, it just isn't quite the right fit. They're looking at some challenges around like the inability to deploy if they don't have, like obesity is an issue, like child obesity and childcare for families, and some of the more basic type of resources. So yeah, it's not quite the right fit, but was definitely worth looking into. And like I said, we are still strategizing, and now that I know that Aaron is still monitoring our last Heritage Capital Projects grant, because that's still going. Once you get the grant, you still have to do get to do all the monitoring and making sure that we have all our paperwork turned in and we're hitting all the requirements and the deadlines. But now that we're pretty much, we have the site cleared, and that phase is, the phase 3 of what we can do is finished. Essentially, there's just a few pieces left, but we can really focus full efforts on the funding opportunities and finessing the timeline. So that's what we're working on.
I would recommend maybe checking back once a year on that grant to see if they've changed the. I mean, it looked like on the thing you put up on the screen, we had a multi-year strategy. So each year there's a chance they might change the criteria for the grant. Just checking.
Yeah, that's a good point. We also, though, the city may pursue that funding opportunity with a youth and family center, that the city is at the table with North Thurston Public Schools and the YMCA in looking at early. So this North Thurston Public Schools has an early learning deficit. There's about 300 kids in Lacey that are not served. And they have, all kind of statistics. It's like one of their major goals, and their statistics around graduation rates and success of later in life with having early learning. And so I think that what it looks like the direction is going is that we'll probably be at the table for that project. But I think that it's worth still looking at whatever opportunities. I don't know if you can apply multiple years or
on the table. I would want to revisit that as often as possible.
The other thing to note is that we have to have written buy-in from the base. So it's not just us making the case to the granting agency. It's also the base that has to be on board.
That was worth an ask.
And I really don't have anything else for the new museum project at this time.
Any other questions for Jen on the new museum? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 7B, Lacey Depot Food Truck Plaza.
Yeah, so again, not a ton to report. Things are going well over there. We've got the sunshades coming up next week. Let's see, the bases I saw that I just walked by there earlier today, and the ground is all dug up to put those bases in, and so we'll have some shade. There is the food trucks are still going for lunch and dinner every day, and then the next big event is the Sunday market, and that's on the 4th Sunday of every month. So that will be August 28th, September 25th, and what's the 4th weekend in October? Look at the calendar real fast. Make sure I give you guys the right dates. Well, it's whatever the 4th Sunday in October is. Anybody has a calendar? Oh.
The 4th, what in October?
23rd. 4th Sunday in October, that is the 23rd.
Yep.
My brain wanted to say the 30th, but I was like, nope, that's the last one. There's 5 weekends in October, so. So anyway, we are excited about that, and I think that's really all I have about the Lacey Depot.
Very good. Any questions for Jen?
No, I did have a question about the fundraising.
Oh, Commissioner Tyler.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there a director of the foundation?
So there is there's not a director. They want to actually hire an executive director. From what I understand, there is a board. So they filed as a nonprofit, and there are 4 board members. There's either 3 or 4 board members. And they are looking to
Find funding to possibly get a director.
Yep, exactly. So they have raised the first, they're either really close or they've reached the $100,000 mark. to get their foundation all set up, and now they're looking at the potential for hiring a director. So I'm still wanting them to come speak to the commission. So as soon as I have someone who can do that, I will bring them in.
Yeah, because I have a name I could move forward to for a grant writer that's pretty amazing.
Okay. Yeah, is it a nonprofit then? Nonprofit eligible grant?
No, it's a grant writer person.
Oh, grant writer. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And Becky is absolutely amazing, and she's worked with Murdoch and a lot of those big foundations,
Oh, cool. Okay.
and is really successful.
Very cool. Well, I'd be happy to give you a call and grab that information and share it.
Okay, that'd be great.
Thank you. And can we note what time Commissioner Tyler joined?
Yeah, I saw him pop on about 5 minutes ago. Alan, do you think you were here around 6:10?
Probably a little earlier than that. I pulled off the road at 6.
Okay, well then we'll just mark it as 6:05.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I also have some names I could, if, when we are ready to, when that board is ready to hire a director, folks who might be interested too.
Okay,
I'll pass those along to them.
awesome.
Any other questions regarding the Lacey Depot or the food truck plaza? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 8, new business, beginning with 8A, the recent acquisitions.
Yeah, we just have a couple of things here. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we got our regular allotment of items from the Thurston County School Retirees Association. We hold their archives, and they usually make a deposit, usually annually, sometimes biannually, but we just are going to add it to that collection. And then we got some research material related to Gwen Hicks that came to us through a descendant of that family as part of the process of doing the presentation that I did. So we'll just add that to our research information. That's all there is. Any questions?
No questions, we'll need a motion to accept those acquisitions.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting those acquisitions, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries, we will accept those acquisitions.
Thank
Now
you.
we're moving on to item 8B, elections.
All right, since Chair Ebel is leaving, this is his last meeting, we need to hold elections for a new chair for the Historical Commission, and that will be effective starting next meeting. And so let's do we'll do two different motions. We'll do nominations first and then election after that. And the board can vote on the nominations and then the election.
So let me get this straight, somebody makes a motion to nominate an individual.
Yeah, and we just want to make sure that that individual is comfortable with that nomination.
Okay.
Just a question. You've got all these new members coming in. Shouldn't they have some input into who the chairman is going to be?
Well, we could have a temporary one for a couple months until our official elections happen at the beginning of the year. But we have to have someone who is the chair at the next meeting.
Well, we have a vice chair. The vice chair could run the meeting for the next several meetings.
Let me look up what our policy says.
Thank you, Aaron.
If memory serves, we usually do our normal elections in November.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, but now there's an officer vacancy, so we have to figure out that. I should have looked this up, but
That's okay. You can check. I feel like it could probably be done either way, unless there's something specifically spelled out. So thanks for checking that, Erin.
do you have the report on the grant status update, or is that Erin also?
Oh, that's Erin.
okay, this is what it says. Vacancies of an office caused by resignation, removal, or expiration of term of any officer during the term of office shall be filled for the remainder of the term by a majority vote of a quorum of the Historical Commission. So you do need to elect another chair through the end of the year.
But there's nothing that says it has to be done today.
Do you want to pull it up, Erin?
Yeah.
Screen so we can look at it.
However, will the new people be on board by next meeting? Do we know that for sure?
I'm not 100% sure that they will be.
Hmm.
We're trying our best. Well, the hope is to get them before council at one of the September meetings, which are both before the 20, what's our next meeting date? The 20th, I want to say.
I feel like
Okay.
this does need to be, it either needs to be done tonight or at the very beginning of the next meeting. Those are the two choices, I think, in my opinion, based on what's written here.
Well, I do see here that this term would be expiring December 31st. So anyone who is elected would only serve through the end of December.
Right.
Right.
And that would give the new members a chance to get up to speed before the election of a new chairman.
So really what we would be voting on tonight is just somebody to steer the ship for the next 3 months, 4 months, until the new members are on board. And then you can have your regular election in November.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
So who wants to nominate somebody? Should we nominate Commissioner Kehoe since he's not here?
I think that's a great idea.
I think that's entirely appropriate.
All right, well, somebody make a motion then.
I nominate Commissioner Kehoe.
Oh, you're serious?
It's just for a couple months.
Yeah.
I think he'd like being the commissioner for a while.
I don't just think you were in his shoes though, and you weren't here. I'm just saying.
He can turn it down and we could have a new vote at the next meeting if he feels that strongly about it.
That's a
That's
very
true.
solid point.
That's true. So we need a second.
Second.
Okay, having been moved and seconded, is there any discussion about the nomination of Commissioner Kehoe? Okay, all in favor of accepting Commissioner Kehoe's nomination, say aye.
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 Hearing no opposition, the nomination is approved. So are there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Black.
I'm going off,
Oh,
so you can't tag me.
I'm sorry.
well, let's nominate Eric.
He's going off too.
Well, that's all. We should nominate him.
What other position would there be?
Commissioner Getz, we can barely hear you. Can you speak up a little?
I said, what other position would you need nominations for?
He's looking
There's-
for more, any other nominations for chair?
Right. If there are additional nominations for chair to replace me, now's the time to nominate.
I'm sorry, wait. Back up. Didn't we just vote
No,
on accepting the nomination for Commissioner Keough?
We voted to entertain the nomination of Commissioner Kehoe.
Oh, okay.
This is the guidance that Jen provided. And now we need to see if there are any other names we want to entertain. And if there are none, and it sounds like there are none, then we will go ahead and have a motion to vote in favor or against Commissioner Kehoe being the chair.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner 30 Acre. I think it's kind of inappropriate to nominate somebody who's not here.
I think they should at least be able to accept the nomination. Like if I'm fine nominating someone who's not here, but they should be here to accept or decline.
Well, if I'm totally fine with that. But that means it's Commissioner Tyler or me. We are the only two available options. Commissioner 30 Acre is already the vice chair.
So
We could, I can call him and check with him and see if he wants to accept it, and we could do it at the next meeting. That would work, if that's what you guys are the most comfortable with.
Yeah, I'd really like to have his buy-in. That would be great.
Yeah.
So we can just establish if there's any other nominations then.
right, and I did hear Commissioner Tyler make a nomination that Commissioner 30 Acre be advanced to chair, but I haven't heard a second. And then, say again?
We probably need a motion on that before I decline. I just took a new position at work, and so it's like I'm taxed.
All right, we'll dispense with that. So I guess this commission needs to decide if we want to postpone all of this until the beginning of the very next meeting. Right?
Well, there's a nomination for Commissioner Kehoe. And so that
Which was
motion,
accepted.
yeah, so that motion still stands. And then, so what I'll do, if it pleases the commission, I can check in with him to see if he accepts that nomination. Or we can just make sure he's here at the next meeting and then we can finish it off.
And then we can table the motion until the next time.
That's right. Yep. Table the motion for 8B.
Okay, so the
For the actual
nomination was
election.
approved, but the actual election, we're tabling that issue until you can get in touch.
Yep.
All right, that sounds good. And then, of course, if he declines at the beginning of the next meeting,
We'll go from there. You
we'll
won't
have
be
to go
here.
through this process all over again.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Okay, well, that satisfies our elections item then, and we can move on, yes? Okay,
Mhm.
We'll move on to item 8C, grants status update.
Yeah, so Jen and I, when we were talking about this meeting coming up, we started talking about, we started looking at the work plan, which I'm trying to pull up here. And so we decided as a part of that process of looking at where we were with those that we thought we ought to give you an update on where we're at with the grants as it pertains to the work plan. So can you see that? Do I need to make it?
Can you make it just a little bit bigger? We can see
Yeah.
it, but it just needs to be wider.
I'm trying to see my notes in that all at the same time. Okay,
We can only see the first two columns, now
Yeah.
3.
I see that. So wide. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. All right, so the Valerie Savinski grant. What is the noise? Is that me?
And Erin, real quick, I'll just clarify, this is from your work plan.
Yeah, I thought I said that.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right, so do I sound like echoey or weird to you guys?
No,
Okay, I'm having,
Yeah, there's
Yes.
an echo and that's a little tingy, like,
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. There is
Jared?
nothing.
Can you
Weird.
mute?
Sure here.
oh, maybe,
How about, maybe everybody mute if you're not talking, and maybe that will help. I have to leave mine on.
Okay. All right, so we have the Valerie Savinski grant. We decided not to apply for that because the amount of money that they're offering is just not worth the work that goes along with it for the type of projects that we have in mind for that. And then for the Thurston County Heritage Grant, we did apply last year and received a grant for 2022 to continue the Lacey Leader project. But with Carson having left and no replacement for her, hang on, I'm gonna yell at my kid to get the dog. Okay. So what we have decided to do, since Carson left and we don't have a replacement for her at this time, we decided that we're going to hire an intern to complete the project. And Human Resources has been really short-staffed and hiring has been delayed. So we will be asking for an extension on the project, which will make us ineligible for the next round of grants. So we are not going to be applying this year. Further, I just checked the applications and we've only had one application. So I think I'm going to have to do some more legwork and it's already been open for over a week. So I think I'm going to need to do some more legwork to put out the word that we have it. And then Nisqually charitable funds and the remainder of the grants on the list, we have decided not to apply for this year. So like Jen talked about, we've been really working strategically to figure out which funding sources we can use for the new museum, which is our highest priority for funding. And so as we start to think about the work plan for next year, we really want to suggest that we only put the grants on here that we really intend to apply for. That way our work plan can be really focused on what our intentions are. So does anybody have any comments or questions?
I have a comment.
Yeah.
The State Historical Society has a program, I believe, where they can help find diversity interns. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah, we did it this year.
Oh,
We
okay.
had one from January to June.
Okay, so are you?
But the projects have to be around diversity. It's not like just here, have an intern.
Oh.
The intern I'm hiring is specifically for the Thurston County Heritage Grant.
Okay.
And the one that we did have helped with the marker.
Right.
For Nat and Thelma Gems.
Exactly.
Got it.
And the only reason I did that grant was because I really needed to get the marker done and I didn't have time to do it.
We just wanted to have this conversation before it was time to look at the work plan for next year, just to kind of give you guys an update of where we're at. And it kind of ties into the conversation that we had earlier, just about grant funding and really strategically using our time for the biggest gain.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's I think challenging to sit down and see funding on the table that we're not even going to apply for, but I understand the reasoning behind it. So I think I can just live with that.
Well, what grant are you feeling like we're leaving the money on the table for?
Well, nothing. I'm just saying that in a general sense, I feel like if there's money out there that's available to be obtained, and again, this goes back to if you have the time and the energy and the resources to apply for it, then
and manage it afterwards, because the application process is just the beginning.
right.
Um,
You're a one-person show right now, so I understand that. Yeah.
And I don't feel like we've left anything on the table that we really needed. We should be targeting our funds for the projects we're doing rather than finding projects to get the grants that are out there. And I feel like we've been doing that.
Did we ever get new gutters on the Jacob Smith house?
No, but we haven't needed to. We do have money in the budget.
Oh, good.
And we decided through the process that they don't need to be wood gutters.
Yeah, I can't remember our full conversation, but we had decided to go a different route.
Yeah, so we decided to go a different route, and it's just not quite time yet. So we do have the money allocated. But it will come before this commission before the work is actually done. So, yeah. And on the, for example, the BNSF grant, that is one that you'll notice is on the other funding plan for the museum. So it's not as if we're abandoning that one. It just needs to be, the timing needs to be right. And we want to gear up for a sizable ask. The last one to the BNSF was we applied for $10,000, got 5,000 for the markers out at the site. So that was cool. But we want to do a big ask for the museum project. So
Yeah.
we're hoping to get help from the Lacey Foundation to be able to do that and take more of a, get more of our partners at the table when we do the ask,
And you guys are obviously more experienced at this kind of thing than I am. Do the grantors take into consideration the most recent grant you've received? If you apply every year and get a little piddly grant, do they see a big request finally come through one year and say, well, we've already given them money 2 or 3 years in a row, so we can't,
It totally depends on the granting agency. So like with the Capital Heritage Project, we're not applying for that this round because we don't have the matching funds.
Yeah.
But I think they would be really excited to fund the actual building of the building. They've been less excited about planning the building.
Right.
So I feel like they'd be really into that. On the other hand, the Thurston County Heritage Grant, I hear through the grapevine that they're kind of tired of funding the same thing year after year, even though we've made all kinds of progress. They just want, shiny new things. That's what grant people always want.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it depends. It's case by case.
Okay. Well, like I said, you guys are the experts on this sort of thing. You obviously have a strategy, so I wish you the best of luck with it. I mean that sincerely.
Thank you. And some of these will, they'll just probably get moved, like the BNSF and the Capital Heritage. Those will just get moved over to the museum funding plan. I think that's kind of its own thing now. And these ones relate more to kind of the other museum stuff that we're doing. And to Erin's point, just applying for the ones that are something that we need funded, a project that we're working on that needs to be funded. So it might just look different on your work plan next time. We're evolving.
Yeah. Any additional questions about grant status updates? Hearing none, we can move on to item 9, ad hoc committee reports, beginning with the Policy Steps Committee, which is on hiatus.
That would be correct. The Policy Steps Committee is on hiatus.
All right. How about the Archaeology Committee?
I think we're on hiatus as well.
Very good. Do you expect a long-term hiatus on that, or?
I think
Go ahead.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think that it would probably be dependent on what comes forward over the next year, and if there's additional work that would kind of require that committee to address.
All right, let's move on to item 10, public comment, beginning with the Lacey Historical Society.
All right, yep, I'm here. It's like 9:45 right now. Anyway, let me see. I noticed on your work plan thing, you had Shirley Binkley and me on the Chambers Prairie Cabin. We actually finished that. It's been a couple of years and came to some sort of conclusion. And I haven't spoken with Shirley for some time, but when I get back, I will take a look at my stuff to see if I can find what we did 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I don't remember getting anything from you guys. Could you write up like your findings for us? Would you be
I
willing
haven't had a chance to write it up. But we did come to some sort of conclusion. And as I said, I haven't spoken to Shirley for actually a couple of years, actually. The other thing is that the JJICs are preparing another sort of event to honor Shirley. And the date is September 3rd. Michael JJIC emailed me. I said, Michael, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to still be in Canada. But they've put together, and he's done a really good job. They've a guide for, it's like a trail of places that that Shirley had a part in illustrating the history of Lacey, such as the information on the side of Albertsons and that kind of thing. And he only had one question really. And so I'll get you a copy, Aaron, of this. They did a pretty good job. And, you know, unfortunately, it just came right out of the blue. And it's like, yeah, September 3rd. Oh, gee, could you give us some time? So there's not a lot that we could do for them. I think that's it. We're still planning on our annual meeting as long as COVID behaves itself, but who knows? That's it.
Appreciate that. Hope you stay safe where you are.
Oh, actually, it's fine. But Canada, it's yeah, they're fairly healthy. They don't think they are, but they are.
All right. So we will move on to any other public comment. Is there anyone else from the public?
So we did not receive any written public comments for this meeting.
Okay.
And there's no one else physically here or virtually here. I mean,
Very good. Hey, the robo camera turned. Now you can see I'm wearing flip flops. Right.
and you just told everyone, even if they weren't paying attention.
It's my last
Short timer.
meeting. And it's hot out. It's like 90 degrees today. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to item 11, beginning with the museum curator report.
Yeah, so just a few highlights. We don't have a decision yet on our full-time museum coordinator position, so I'm continuing to work at the museum. Visitation was pretty good last month. We had 61 visitors, including a tour of 21 members of the Fleetwood family who were in town for a family memorial. Service requests have been really slow, allowing me to work on some other projects. This is actually the first time since I started work here that I haven't had any active requests. I have no open requests right now. I don't know what's happening. I was able to devote some solid time this month working on the collections inventory at the museum and added 3,600 items to the inventory. And before you think I'm like an amazing whiz or something, a lot of them were boxes that were already inventoried. I just needed to type them up and put them into our tracking system. But and we're continuing to work on the website and make improvements and updates. The diversity and local history grant that we just talked about to get the marker done was finished, and the final payment has been received for that. So that one is in the past. That is all I have, unless anyone has any other questions for me.
Great work as always.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna scroll back up to the top of that. Let's begin our commissioner reports. Let's start with Commissioner Black.
Thank you. First of all, I wanted to thank the commission and the commissioners for allowing me to serve with you. It's been interesting, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. The second item is I've been invited to join the team planning the restoration of the boyhood home of jazz composer and saxophonist John Coltrane in North Carolina. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
Oh, that's great. Well, we're certainly going to miss you on the commission. You've been an excellent contributor, and your insight and professional input has been extremely valuable. So thank you for your service here on this commission.
Thanks. And if there's anything I can do to help the commission in the future other than serving, I'd be happy to do it.
Send some rich donors our way.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Commissioner 30acre.
Oh, I'm not muted. I don't have any updates at this time or announcements. I'm sorry to have missed last month. I was rear-ended and had a pretty bad concussion and missed over a month of work. So I'm just getting back into things, and I'm not quite as moving as rapidly as I normally do.
Oh gosh, it's good that you appear to be okay on the mend, hopefully.
Getting there for sure.
All right, we'll keep you. Let's move on to Commissioner Tyler.
Oh, I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Commissioner Tyler. How about Commissioner Getz?
Nope, I have nothing to report either.
Very good. Are there any other commissioners that are not on my screen who have not called on? Seeing none, we'll move on to the chair report. This is my last commission meeting. It has been an absolute pleasure and honor serving the city of Lacey and serving with you fine individuals, helping to preserve our history and our heritage and promote our culture. I think that the time I've spent here has been really educational, both from a civic perspective as well as a professional and personal development perspective. So thanks to all of you for helping me grow as a person throughout this process. Thank you for your confidence in continuing to elect me chair each year that I've been here, and I appreciate that as well. I'm gonna miss you. I really am. It's always nice to see your faces. I wish we could have had one more with everybody in person, but I understand the complications involved. And just from a personal promotional note, I have a couple of things coming up that you might be interested in. You know that I'm writing the book about maritime heritage in Washington State. That's still going to be published sometime in early 2023. But I'll be doing a number of presentations at Olympia Harbor Days this year, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, with Chuck Fowler. And so you can pre-order the book there. You can also attend and listen to me talk about doing the research for the book and some of the really cool stories that I was able to uncover about South Sound maritime history. So I hope you can make it to Harbor Days this year. And you all have my email address if you want to get a hold of me for anything. So thank you very much for serving with me on this commission. It's been great. And with that, we'll move to the Parks, Rec, and Culture Director's report.
Thank you so much. So from our department, we are finishing up summer programs, starting off fall registration. And then I'll be gone actually for the next meeting. So Erin is going to be running that meeting. I'll be at the National Recreation and Park Association conference. So I won't be in attendance. So those are my announcements, but most importantly, I really want to thank Commissioner Black. Thank you so much for serving. It's been a pleasure, and just echo what's been said about just your professional advice and expertise. And it's been really fun getting to know you. So appreciate you. Thank you so much. Chair Ebel, it's going to be really hard to say goodbye. You've been here the whole time that I've been here. I'm going on 6 years. And Commissioner Ebel has been serving for 8 years. So yeah, this is a hard one, but understand that you have other things to move on to, and just appreciate all your time and expertise. And we know that you won't be a stranger, so we'll get to see this museum project through together.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. And then I also want to thank Commissioner Tyler. I don't know if you were here in the very beginning, but I did announce that you were willing to serve another term, Commissioner Tyler. So appreciate you for that. That will allow us to keep all of our vacancies filled and keep this commission moving forward. So that's all I have.
Very good. Well, that wraps up our agenda. We have one more item. Is there anything else anybody wants to say for the good of the order before we entertain a motion to adjourn? Okay, hearing none. We'll need a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second it.
Second.
Having been moved, seconded, and thirded, all in favor, well, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a great